Hello, I'm Bruce Lorincz, and this show is called Bruce on the Loose, and I talk to a lot of people throughout Wadsworth City, the city government and the schools, and also in Medina County. Recently, I did a show on Habitat for Humanity, a kind of a follow-up show. Originally, we talked to Tom O'Connell, the executive director, in early October, and also then we did a show recently to show the inside of the home and the progress they've made. So you can take a look at that. And also Water Main Grill. Mike Levitt and I did a show recently and showed very historical pictures in that restaurant. And Mike does an excellent job and helps the community a great deal. Vickie Jackson is with us today, and Vickie, thanks you for joining us. And she's with the Medina County Showbiz Company. And I got to tell you, Vickie, right off, I have a confession. I just really love live theater. My daughters were involved when they were in high school, and it certainly did help a minister and an attorney to really know what was going on. Could you describe what the Medina County Showbiz Company really is?
Well, we're a company that's been around since 1979. And it was started off they had a big Broadway company come in and run a show for them, and it cost a pretty penny. And so the three ladies in the community said, hey, we can do this on our own. And so they started the Medina County Showbiz Company, and they wrote a lot of their own productions. And then eventually they said, hey, why don't we get some rights to some shows? And it just kind of progressed from there. And we service kids, or actors from age 5 all the way up to 90. And I feel very passionate about the theater. My family has all done it. My kids have done it since they have been involved with theater since they were about 5. And it creates friendships, and also it instills a confidence in them that even though my kids aren't going into theater, they are not afraid to speak in front of people. It has so many avenues into humanity as well. So I can't say enough about theater. I think there's so many great attributes of being a part of theater, whether you're watching it, whether you're helping backstage, or you're actually on stage.
I'm sure the directors really need to be flexible for the working with young people, and also on the other end, other spectrum, some people that have been around the block, might we say, a time or two.
Yes, yes, yeah, they do have their hands full.
What were some of your duties as president?
Well, as president, really, my job is to run the meetings and make sure the board meetings go smoothly. And if there's anything that needs to go out to the public, I either write it or I announce it. But the power of the Medina County Showbiz Company is really with the board of directors. And we have an amazing group of people on our board of directors, and each member is in charge or a part of a committee. And those committees range from properties, you know, we have to keep track of what's happening at the theater, patron services, marketing, script selection, and everyone is a part of all of those. And we have a very diverse group and of different opinions, sorry. And we feel that's very important to have a balance, because if you have all the people that think the same, you're going to have kind of a very stagnant board. And anytime the opinions get too differing, where we're, I don't want to say arguing, but maybe having a heated discussion, the question that we keep coming back to is it good for the community? Because we are a community theater, and we are just there to service the community. So anytime the opinions get a little too diverse, we come back and say, is it good for the community? And if we stay to that mission, we can't go wrong.
Where do you host the productions?
We host the production at 114 North Broadway in Medina. It's the County Administrative Building inside the Haddad Theater. So it used to be the old high school a long time ago. I think at one time it was the middle school and then the high school, and now it's the home of our theater. So.
Now, we hinted for a second ago about copyright and the exorbitant costs. I think a lot of people don't understand how expensive doing, let's say, and the Wadsworth High School a couple years ago did Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sure that wasn't very inexpensive to go ahead and tackle. Can you talk about copyright and how that is applicable?
Well, sometimes it surprises us. They range from sometimes $600 all the way up to thousands of dollars. And it really depends on the production company that we get the rights from. So, and whether it's a musical, whether it's a straight play, So when we apply for them, we find out what the rights are, and that's one of the decisions that go into account when we pick a show. But yeah, they really vary, and sometimes they shock us.
What have been some of the productions that you've been most proud of over the years?
Oh, most proud of. Goodness. Oh, that's a hard one. I know we did Guys and Dolls, which was just amazing, and any of the musicals we've done. We've done Oliver. We've done Little Shop of Horrors. We just recently did Beverly Hillbillies, and we've done Our Town. We've done classics. We did Cheaper by the Dozen. That holds a special part. I was in that one, and that's something I really like about theater. That group of people we still keep in contact with, and theater, like I said earlier, develops friendships that last forever. And yeah, that one, I guess, speaks to my heart. You know, and sure. We had really good attendance. People loved it. It was family friendly. Yeah, so I really, really enjoyed that one.
What about the COVID-19? How has that impacted the Medina County Showbiz Company? And did you have many shows in 2020 or 2021?
Well, in 2020, we were in the second week of production of Wind in the Willows, which was a fantastic show. And unfortunately, we had to shut down. And then we tried to push forward and do the next season that we had planned, but everything kept getting canceled on us. However, in 2021, we were lucky to produce Little Women. We videotaped it because we still weren't sure what was happening. So we videoed it, and we used a lot of COVID precautions for the artists, and then we live streamed that. And not live stream, I'm sorry. We put it online and people could watch it. We still have plans to re-release that show. And then this last fall, we were extremely proud to be back live on stage with Beverly Hillbillies, which was phenomenal. It was so funny and so fun to be in. And then we did the Christmas show, which was the best Christmas pageant ever. And the kids were so amazing. And the difference with COVID is people wore masks during rehearsals. And anytime someone was sick, we said stay home, and come back. So we took every precaution possible. And then now that a lot of the restrictions have been lifted, we are proud to produce Gilligan's Island, which opens next Saturday. No, I'm sorry, next Friday, April 1st. I know it's April Fool's Day, but please come out and see the show. And the cast is doing great. It's going to be really fun, and that's what we want people to leave with. We want them to escape what's going on in the world right now. Come and have fun, laugh, maybe get acquainted with some old, characters of Gilligan and the Skipper and all that good stuff. And just leave with a smile. And maybe for an hour and a half, 2 hours, they forget what's going on in the world right now. So.
That was a popular show, very popular. I watched it all the time and couldn't wait to see the exploits of Gilligan and company.
Oh, and now you can see them singing and dancing. So.
That would be great. What about other challenges with like materials, supplies, building the set? Did you have any concerns there?
We did, but this year we were very fortunate. After we were done with Beverly Hillbillies, we used a lot of the same set pieces for the Christmas show. And then unfortunately we had to strike it all. But the wood has been a challenge, but when we strike the set, we reuse a lot of our materials. We store it backstage. And so far, knock on wood, we have not had an issue getting supplies. So.
It seems like some of the shows you mentioned would have a fairly large cast. Yeah. How do you go about, what techniques do you do to try to recruit actors? I'm sure word of mouth really helps a lot, but that doesn't always get the number of people you need. How does the group go about getting actors? Well,
we advertise on through email and Facebook and social media, and we also do Ohio Pal. We advertise through there, and a lot of times that goes into our script selection committee. We pick scripts where we know, we say, what is the community you want? Does it service the community? And it's not just the patrons who are coming to see the show, but we say, what does the community actors want to be in? So when we pick shows, we try to pick shows that the actors will want to come out. And so we get a lot of Medina County actors, but we also, if we pick the right shows, we get actors from all over Northeast Ohio.
So that really helps the final analysis. But
Yeah.
the high schools, I know being a former high school principal, Highland and Cloverleaf, Medina, Wadsworth, Brunswick, they take theater very seriously, don't they? And you probably would have inroads with those directors to try to get some of those kids to continue.
Yeah, we do, and we have a wonderful youth program. The last few years, you know, because of COVID, we haven't had anything, but this year we have 2 one-act plays, and that's where we get the auditions in droves. We have tons of kids that come out, and we've had educational classes in the past. And yeah, so this year we have 2, like I said, one-act plays, and we get a lot of people there. A lot of the kids want to be a part of it. Some of them have even wanted to step forward and be like stage managers and directors. So we're trying to encourage that. We're trying to encourage them to learn the lights and sound. And they're just so hungry to learn and hungry to be a part of it. And not just on stage, but behind stage, I see them talking and hanging out, and then they have parties, and they form friendships that just last forever. And some of them have even gotten married, you know, like have grown up, and, you know, they say they've met, you know, on our stage. And so that's really special. So it's not just about theater, it's really about our community.
So if someone didn't maybe get a part that they were looking for, sound, even design of the set and makeup, I'm sure people could get into those roles. And again, it's something that they could do more than just one time. They could continue to do that and have a routine with that. Yeah,
and we are teaching people how to do sound and lights, and set is something the set is a huge part of any production. And if any of you can operate a drill, assemble an entertainment center, come out and help us. You'll have fun, you'll meet people, we'll take any time you can give, because it's a huge part of our productions. And we always try to get the set done prior to, you know, Tech Week is what we call it, so that the actors have time to play with the set and be in the set and engage with it. Because it is a part, it's almost like another cast member. If you don't have it there, it lacks a lot of
zeal.
Yeah, zeal. Thank you.
That's okay. What about the ticket prices? What if in live theater? We'll talk about that in just a second coming up. What will we expect to pay for a ticket?
Well, in the past, it's been $15 for an adult for a musical and $12 for a straight play. And then there's always a discount for student and seniors. And you can buy those online, at Bueller's, and at the door. We are reviewing prices, so they may change slightly, but not too much. We want to make it always affordable for the community to come out and see our productions.
What about live theater? You know, we've been cooped up for a while with COVID, and I would think this would be one way that we could branch out and get out there and live a little bit. And live theater is very unique, isn't it?
It really is. And live theater, I've talked to several people about this, and live theater, there's a special connection between the audience and the people on stage. And each show, even though they rehearse and they say the same lines and they try to give the same energy, the relationship between the audience and the actors are different at each performance. And it makes it very special. And that's a moment in time that it's not recorded. You can't play it back. You can't reverse your DVR or TiVo. You're witnessing it right there, whether they make a mistake or maybe they say something. And when the audience laughs, it fuels the actors, and so maybe their reaction's a little bit different. And so it's that special bond between the audience and actors that I think makes live theater worth it. And people get out. You know, they get out of their house and away from everything, and they get to escape reality for a little bit.
It's a wonderful evening. It's a wonderful evening, maybe dinner before or even after, and it really does set the mood for very, very good entertainment.
Yeah.
What about the situation where if someone doesn't even try out and just has a knack for like technology and wants to work on lighting or the set, volunteers are certainly, you really welcome volunteers, and you'll take them under your wing and train them. I heard you say?
Yeah, as long as they want to be a part of us, we will help them. I learned how to do sound, so if I can do sound, anyone can do sound. You just have to read with the script and be willing to learn. Lights, we've taught some people how to program it, and they learned a confidence in themselves. They're like, wow, and they give feedback to the director like, hey, can I try this? What do you think of this? And 9 times out of 10, it enhances the show, and the director's like, yeah, that's fantastic. Let's keep doing it. So yeah, we will take any volunteers. All you have to do is be willing to learn and want to be a part of us. So.
All right, Vickie, here you go. 2022 is here. Let's hear the shows you have in 2022 coming up.
All right. Well, Stephen Sondheim unfortunately passed away, and but we are very happy to honor him. He wrote the lyrics for our opening show, which is Gypsy the Musical. We are so excited to produce this show. It's going to be amazing. And then in the fall, October, we're starting something new, which is the Artist Showcase. And we are having new directors or a director that maybe wrote their own original. They have 1 weekend to put on their own show. And this year, we're happy to have Jim Dove, a local artist and writer. He is going to direct his original script of Murder on Broadway. So that'll be in October, and in future years we hope to keep that spot open for local artists who maybe in a director who has never directed before. We're going to give them opportunity. And then Christmas wouldn't be Christmas without watching Miracle on 34th Street, and they can watch it right at our stage. It's a favorite of ours. We've done it before, and we're happy to be bringing it back. And then our spring one, sorry, I don't mean to laugh, but our spring one is The Play That Goes Wrong. And in our script selection committee, we read this, and almost everybody was in tears from laughing so hard. It's a play within a play, and anything you could imagine going wrong on stage goes wrong within that play, and it's hysterical. And like I said, we read it in our script selection committee, and everyone hands down loved it. And if I could for just a moment, I know we just announced the season, but I'd like to talk about our script selection committee, because that's another way people can volunteer.
Definitely.
And this is actually very, very fun. We, once a month, possibly twice a month, we get together, and whoever wants to join us can. We read a script, and everyone kind of takes the parts. So sometimes you get to be a part you would never play on stage. And we read through the script. And at the end, we say, okay, will it work on our stage? Do we have the actors? Will it work with what the patrons want to see? And can we fit the set on our stage? And if it does, then it gets past the script selection committee to be considered for the next season. We also take selections from the people who come read the scripts if they want to propose a new script. So I feel it's the fairest way for a script to get a chance to be put into a season, because many times in many theaters it's maybe a few people who, or maybe just the board who's picking the shows. And so we have given an opportunity for a wide variety of scripts to be considered. So it's so fun. If anyone would like to come out, just reach out to us. We will add you to the email list, and then you can come and read. We laugh, sometimes we cry, and we just have a good time, and we welcome your input to the scripts. So.
Other than Christmas, you kind of really want Miracle 34th Street, but other times, now if something is not voted in for the spring, it might be considered later or next year?
Correct.
Or it's not just kicked to the curb and you never hear about it again?
No, so now we're hoping to build like a big repertoire of scripts that we can pick from in the future. And the thing I like about it is because I don't know all the scripts, and not everybody on our board knows every play imaginable. And so we've actually been exposed to quite a lot of different new scripts that we would have never considered had it not been for the script selection committee. So we welcome any script. It may not pass, the script selection, but again, it's a group of our community members who are deciding whether it will work or not. It's not just a couple people or one person deciding. It's a group of people from our community, not even just the board members, community members helping.
Well, I really like the concept of variety.
Yeah.
At Christmas, I understand that, but you have musicals, you have serious productions, and you have modern themes, and you have history. I really think that bodes well for the community. There's something for everyone.
There really is. Yeah, and we also, we are a part of Spirits of the Past, speaking of history, and that's a wonderful production that we're a part of with the Historical Society, and it's done outside, so you start at our theater and then you go around and you hear history come to life through actors. So it's really nice.
Do you have any corporate sponsors?
We have a lot of local community businesses who advertise in our showgram, but we're always looking for more sponsors. So if any companies would like to sponsor us, we're actually with our upcoming play, The Play That Goes Wrong, that has a huge set. It has things falling, and so we are actually looking to someone who would maybe want to sponsor that set.
Or they could donate wood or
Yes.
something, or some of their workers for an afternoon or something. You know,
that would be
like
amazing. Yeah, like workers, anyone who wants to come out in any way, shape, or form, we would absolutely welcome that. That would be even better than money. I don't want to say that, but it really would be. The volunteers coming out, and they're going to meet new people and make friendships.
How would you describe the theater's involvement from 1979 to today? That's a lot. That kind of surprised me. You've been around that long. And I'm not sure if everyone knew that, but that's really interesting. How has it evolved? Is there more people today than were when you began, or is that hard to predict?
I think we have more people, at least on our email list, which is good because, well, they didn't have email back in '79. But it's on our website. You can watch a video from our originating. It was produced, I think, 10 plus years ago on our 30th anniversary, and they talk about how they started. And the thing that I find so interesting is they started out with like cardboard cutouts for their sets, and they made their own costumes. But the emphasis that Myrna and some of our originators said was they had fun, and they all came together, and they had the talent, and they came together and worked together, and they had fun. And I think if you keep fun in theater, we'll go another 40 years. So I think we have built quite a lot. There was a few years there where people didn't know where we were because we had moved theaters. But yeah, I think our patrons have definitely grown. We've had a patron services department just started about 3 or 4 years ago. We've been at the farmers market, and we've gotten a lot more people recognizing where we are and what we're doing and joining us. So
I think if people have a good experience, they'll come back. If
exactly.
They will play a totally different role the next time around, or maybe if they have other thoughts, maybe they can do a stage, build a stage and do other things. But I think once you get hooked, you see, I'm sure, the same people over and over again.
Yes, yes.
What about the next 5 years? Since you have a crystal ball in front of you, and can you project where you think the theater company may be in 5 years?
Well, in 5 years, one of our statements in our theater is education. And we are really striving to create workshops and classes, and we're writing some grants for that purpose, and we hope to focus on the youth and people who want to learn about theater, and we're going to teach them acting, we're going to teach them set building, all the things you said before, sound, lights, anything they want to. And but in order to do that, we have to have instructors, so that's what the grant's going to pay for. The classes will be most likely free, or maybe a minimal cost for the students, because we want to make sure everyone can be a part of this. And I just hope that in the next 5 years we still have the existing community involvement that we have, and we're trying to grow even more. We have reached out to the Medina Community Band and the Medina Community Chorus and the Medina County Arts Foundation, and they all want to collaborate, which we've been saying for years, let's collaborate, and everyone, I think, wanted to in the past, but even more so now that we went through COVID and we saw all the struggles. We want to collaborate even more, and even if it's a small amount, collaboration is what's going to help us keep going with all the arts foundations and all the arts community. And if we can help them and they can help us, I think it's going to be a match made in heaven. Yeah,
schools do that a lot with especially small districts don't have the money. A psychologist, they may share.
Yeah.
Also, cities do that quite a bit, and certainly. That would be a wonderful production if you'd have the chorus and also your actors in some nice production.
Yeah, and when during COVID, they put on the high school put on the 25th Putnam Annual Spelling Bee, and because the students in COVID, they had to wear masks and everything, and they couldn't be in there in huge amounts. we went over and we helped build their set. So again, community needs to help each other out, and we need to be there for it. There's enough arts to go around. We don't need to compete. We need to be there to support everybody. So that's, I guess, where I hope we are still in 5 years. I hope we're supporting and encouraging other arts foundations in the area.
Vickie, Jackson, the good thing about WCTV, Joanna and John, we can send this to Medina and Brunswick, and hopefully we'll get some volunteers and some actors and maybe some sponsors along the way too, because there's nothing better than live theater. Next week we're going to have a show here with Peggy Hegbar and Reverend Schloop with Warrior's Journey Home. Thanks for viewing today's show. We just had.
You are watching WCTV, Wadsworth Community Television.